A little background behind this new initiative that I announced of learning all of the 613 mitzvahs in a year. What's behind this? Why are we doing it? What are we doing? Let's delve into it a little bit. So traditionally, the 613 mitzvahs in the Torah, this was passed down from Moses, 248 positive commandments, things that we are supposed to do, and 365 negative commandments, things that we are not supposed to do. These are biblical mitzvahs. These were passed down from God to the Jewish people through Moses on Mount Sinai 3,334 years ago. Coming up next week, we'll be celebrating the holiday of Shavuot. Along with the written Bible is also the oral tradition, which has a lot more than is just written down. And this was all passed down to the Jewish people and through the Jewish people through the ages. Now, traditionally the 613 mitzvahs, what are they? And with this, a number of the codifiers delved in to the various books, to the Chumash, to the Bible, and to the Talmud and other places to figure out what were the 613 mitzvahs. One of them was Maimonides. Maimonides was a codifier in the 9th century. He was a tremendous scholar, sage, doctor, and philosopher of his time. He wrote many, many books. He wrote books on medicine. He wrote books on Jewish philosophy, and he wrote books on the Torah. One of those books was called Mishneh Torah, which means, literally it means like the second to the Torah, which is that where he basically went through the Bible. He went through all the Jewish texts that were written until that time, the Talmud, the Mishnah, and many others. And he studied them in depth, and he went through he found the verses in the Bible with their commentary in the Talmud and other places, and was able to explain what are all the mitzvahs in Jewish observance. Everything, from the beginning all the way through. So it's one book called Mishneh Torah, which is divided into 14 sections. And it starts off with the foundations of Jewish life, like belief in God, prophecy, not serving idols, the basic things. It goes Torah study. It went on to things that we do often, and mitzvahs that we like putting on tefillin, like putting a mezuzah on our door, things that we do at certain times, like keeping Shabbat and the holidays, mitzvahs of marriage and divorce, mitzvahs of oath and the words of our mouth, the mitzvahs in the temple, mitzvahs of the ground, mitzvahs of planting and harvesting, mitzvahs in the temple, like the sacrifices, the building of the temple, and many others. Mitzvahs of purity and impurity, which is a whole section for itself that was mainly applicable in temple times. And then the last few books talk about many laws that come up in day-to-day life between partners in business, theft, how we deal with murder and these kind of things. He goes all the way through until the laws of the court. And he even includes the laws of the Messianic era, when Mashiach comes. How do we know when Mashiach is here? Now, along with his book, besides his book, which is his 14 books of the Mishneh Torah, he also wrote one book which is called Sefer HaMitzvahs, the Book of the Mitzvahs. And this book is much shorter than the Mishneh Torah. It just takes each mitzvah and it says what it is with a little bit of explanation, sometimes an anecdote or something to go along with it. And he goes and he does this for all 613 mitzvahs. The Lubavitcher Rebbe of blessed memory, who's the leader of Chabad, starting in 1950, he started an initiative in 1984 to learn the whole book of Maimonides in a year. All 14 books of Maimonides in a year. There was another cycle to finish it in 3 years and do a chapter each day. Some people do 3 chapters every day. I do 3 chapters every day of the Maimonides. I finish it in a year. And another cycle of learning the mitzvahs, the Sefer HaMitzvahs, the Book of the Mitzvahs. And the mitzvahs that we are learning in the Book of the Mitzvahs are the same mitzvahs that are being studied in the Book of Laws in more details every day by those who learn 3 chapters. Now these mitzvahs, like I mentioned before, these mitzvahs go through everything you can imagine. Some of these things are applicable today. Some of these things will only be applicable when Mashiach comes in the Messianic era, or they were applicable in temple times. But what's happening over here is that we're learning all the mitzvahs in the Torah. We're learning all the basics, whether they're applicable today or not applicable today. These are God's wisdom, and these are holy, and these are very special. And there's something unique about finishing everything, learning all of the mitzvahs and being knowledgeable in all of them, and then being able to delve into them even deeper the following year. What is also unique about this is that this is something that is being done simultaneously by hundreds and thousands of Jewish people every day. So we are all learning the same mitzvahs here in El Cerrito and in other places. And many people are learning, and individuals are learning the laws, and the communities are learning these laws and these mitzvahs. So it's something very special. And every day is going to be different. Some days will be a shorter video. There's just one or two mitzvahs. Some days we will actually be focusing on the same mitzvah for a few days in a row, because it's something that is that's got a lot of different details to it, and there's a lot to discuss. And sometimes we will discuss a number of mitzvahs all together. Join me for this ride, and I look forward to doing it together.